It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, we are ready to go on a wet and wild Wednesday. This is unbelievable. A little peek behind the curtain. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hazen, CB. Iceman, how you feeling?
I feel amazing, man. It's hump day, one day closer to Oregon and Ohio State, and we're starting the show off with a bang today, so I can't complain.
Yeah, so this is what happened.
Blasphemy is what happened.
While Matty was mixing up his blueberries and scrambled eggs and everything, and we had this little crossover where Tyvis Powell, who hosted with Bishop and Friends, is leaving the studio. And I walk in, Matty, and what does he say to me? He goes, "What are you guys going to be ripping on the Browns today about?" And I said to him, well, I don't know if we're going to be ripping. We have some suggestions. And mine was, if you lose at Philly and go to 1-5, I said it's probably time to start considering trading Amari Cooper to the Kansas City Chiefs.
And you lost your mind.
Why? I don't understand. And your response was, because you can't help them win?
That's correct. That is correct.
What do you care about them for? They're not even your rival. You need to be 1-5.
Just even if you change have a way of turning your season around, you still got to fight to go against the Chiefs. And every other team in the AFC gonna look at you upset. You know,
I don't care about them. I would only care about.
You say that now, but then until you want to go do a deal with one of them, and they say, "No, remember you helped the Chiefs, and we lost to them in the playoffs because of you."
We traded a 31-year-old receiver at 1-5.
Is he gonna look like that when he with the Chiefs?
No, but
that's my point.
He's not going to be helping you do anything more this season other than go,
you're gonna
8-9?
So you're going to trade away a bona fide #1 wide receiver who still is good, that still creates separation, and give him the Patty Mahomes? So it's going to be him, Kelsey, and Xavier. So now you got the guy. You got exactly what the Browns offense wish they had. You got a guy in Xavier Worthy that DBs is like, oh, snap, we got to back up. And guess what? Amari Cooper could just dice up in between and run these routes. And then you got Kelsey that's able to dice up. Yeah, they're winning. They're three-peating if you do that. I'm just going to tell you that now. I don't care what you say. And Matty Ice knows.
No, he doesn't.
By the way, you look good without your glasses.
Thank you, man. This will be the last day you see me in contacts because I'm going to get my glasses right after the show. I can't take it anymore. I feel naked without glasses. But here's what I'll say. I think the perspective of where you are as a team matters. And it's time to blow it up and rip it down to the studs if you're the Cleveland Browns. And it's time to focus on what quarterback can we get in the 2025 draft? And you know how you get to that point?
You talking about the Browns?
Yes. You know how you get to that point? You trade Amari Cooper. Now, here's what I'll say.
You lost your mind, too.
If the Cleveland Browns were a contender, this is absolutely off the table.
Of course.
Because they're not, this is not going to come back and haunt you in any way, shape, or form in the future if you're the Cleveland Browns. What you're saying about other teams being upset, I'm with AR. I don't care about what other teams would think about this. This is all about building for the future. You get capital back for Amari, whatever that's going to be, and you get yourself in position to possibly get your franchise quarterback. And you know, like we all know, that there's a lot of Browns fans that are just done with Deshaun Watson and ready to flip the page.
Let me ask you this question. How long have you two been working together?
This will be our 5th year.
You know what? That's the problem. You two
on the air together. We've been working together even a lot more than that.
Y'all see the same way. That's why I go to CB. CB, tell them that they crazy. Tell him that
by the way, you better be ready for this because I don't know what he's going to say, but I got a feeling you're going to be outmanned.
Perfect timing's playing in my head as we're speaking.
See?
But no, I think Amari Cooper is definitely needs to be traded. And there's going to be some uncomfortable conversations maybe the next year or two.
Wait. He could be traded. Just not to Kansas City is my whole thing.
I don't know why you're so upset about Kansas City.
I don't think it matters.
They're the gold standard. So what? I mean, what? Why would you care?
What do you mean, why would I care?
Because
I'm not helping nobody
your
win a
timeline doesn't line up with them.
What if they decide to re-sign Amari? And then
at 31, 32?
It's a one-year deal.
They got Rashee Rice. I don't think that they would do that.
Well, and
I don't
Has he
think
even
that
looked
they
good
would
enough?
either.
we don't know what he's going to be.
Well, he'll be back next year. He'll be back next
but
year.
he's coming
Xavier.
off of a thing.
Listen, I'm not too caught up in the Chiefs thing. I'm more looking at it as getting rid of an asset
That's fine.
that you're going to let walk for nothing potentially at the end of the year.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm not trading him to the Chiefs.
Let me ask you this. Are you re-signing him?
No, they're not going to do that.
Okay.
They're not going to do that.
So if he's at the end of his prime earning years, whatever, and you guys, and by the way, I only said this on the hypothetical that you lose to Philly. All right. I know you probably think they'll beat him, but if
Wait a minute.
if they go to 1-5, and by the way, I didn't even say 1-5. When I first walked in, I said if they lose maybe the next two, then it's done.
When's
Then
the deadline anyway?
November 5th. So you'd have all the way until
Now they go 1-8. 1-8.
Let me ask you this, Tyvis
I just
Powell.
don't know why
Sell
Kansas
everybody.
City that they're not in your division. They're not.
They are in the AFC.
Let me ask you this.
You do know that at
Yes.
some point, like, you have to beat the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl.
The Browns don't have to worry about though.
By that time, Cooper will be retired.
Nah, he's gonna play another one, I'm sure.
So I know, but by the time you can beat the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl,
I see
he'll
what
be
you're
retired.
saying. No, because they're gonna turn it around this Sunday.
Are all the AFC contenders off the board then? So does that include Buffalo, Pittsburgh,
Yeah, I sent them to the
NFC?
yeah.
Okay.
Like I'd send them to Carolina. Or
But at least
like
you're willing to open your mind up to trading him.
I
though.
didn't. Yeah, I would trade him.
But you're just saying.
I would have traded him. The Ayuk thing. Like I said, for him, I wouldn't have been mad at it, which he also came out and said he wouldn't have been mad at that either. But you definitely would have traded him to a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
So you would have been doing right by him. If you want to do right by him, yeah, you can send him to the Chiefs, but like that's literally kind of like solidified.
Let me ask you this. Are you transitioning into a different career here? Because there was a tweet that we saw yesterday. Are you turning into a motivational speaker? Are you trying to motivate guys? Because it seemed like there was a tweet out there where you were trying to, really get Deshaun Watson ready. Is that what's next for Tyvis Powell? Or are you turning into a motivational speaker?
You know what? It's funny that you bring that up because I actually have currently a cameo request right now that I have to give some inspirational words. So therefore, I guess I could see it in my future. I've been known to, say some motivating things. I had to talk to a team before.
I could see it, but you wanted to show Deshaun
it's
rough for him right now.
You might need to see something, when things matter, who is important to you and stuff like that. You might need to see it again. You kind of forget.
It must be nice cashing those cameo checks, huh? How's that treating?
It's $20. I didn't think. Yeah.
You hear that, folks?
Cheap,
$20.
$20.
Tyvis Powell will talk you out of the darkness and back to the light.
Oh my goodness!
Listen, I didn't know. By the way, I didn't know cameo was still even a thing.
$20.
I'll tell you maybe about 6 months ago, I looked up, to send a birthday cameo to somebody, and I think the person I wanted was, I don't know, off for a while or whatever. Like, I'm like, all right, forget this.
Really?
If you're not.
That?
Yeah, like where, okay, any request, won't be filled until, whatever time. Like, okay, it didn't work out. But that is still a thing? Cameo?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a request right now. I got it last night, so I got to
And
get
when
on
the
that.
request comes through, what does it say? What does it want you to, like different?
The guy is having surgery, and he just needs some words of encouragement.
I like
stuff
that.
like
That's
that.
very
So,
good.
yeah.
I like that.
Well, that's the power. That's the energy you bring.
I try to spread positivity. I'm all about being positive in life.
You do that very well.
I see the glass.
They didn't want you to do the surgery. Just give them some inspiration.
I could get in there. You never know. You never know what I could
Scrub
do.
up.
I'm a man of many talents.
Okay, I just want to make sure where they were in this.
We didn't ask him though. Going back to the Kansas City thing. What if it's by far the best offer? What if this is a second and a third for Amari Cooper? Kansas City's like, here you go, a second round pick and a third round pick.
See, you know what? It's interesting. It's interesting. I'd look at it, but then I would think to myself, okay, how am I drafting anyways? Everybody's talking about quarterback draft. Do you trust them to draft the right quarterback? CB, since you all thinking about the draft, do you trust them to actually get it correct?
Yeah, if Sanders is on the board, it's very easy.
Here's the deal.
You have to take that deal, Tyvis.
You're
So you trust them to use the second and third round pick?
I'm not even worried about that.
Yes, you should be. You should be. That's your problem. You're thinking about right here. You got to think forward. You got to think beyond.
Then Tyvis, is it time for the GM to go?
No comment.
Yeah, but I was going to say, we put this guy now in a pretty tough spot. Here's the deal. I don't think this is going to happen because I don't think Kansas City doesn't feel as desperate anymore. They're 5-0. And by the way, this is coming from a guy who just picked up Juju Smith-Schuster. I should not want this to happen. I should not want Amari Cooper going anywhere near Kansas City. But the fact that they're 5-0 with Juju and Kareem Hunt now, another one of your cast-offs, and then and Kelsey and all, like, I don't think Kansas City is going to be as motivated to offer what Matty just said. But he's right. If they offer that, you're taking it. If they offer a third, you might even take it. If you go 1-6 or 1-5, like, that's the whole point of this.
Who's to say they the only people offer it?
That's true. I just thought that maybe Kansas City was the most motivated to do it. That's all.
The bottom line in all of this is that we wouldn't even be having this conversation if Deshaun Watson was competent at quarterback.
Why is it just Deshaun?
Because he plays the most important position. But that's the bottom line.
But you will admit that there's other components to it as well.
Well, yeah, we've talked about that. Okay, but I think even zooming outside of that.
And for people that's listening, no, I'm not a Deshaun Watson apologist. No, the guy has been playing terrible. Yes, that's a fact. But I'm not going to be oblivious to say that the offensive line has been playing great, and I'm not going to say that the receivers has been great either. So I think it's a whole thing that the entire offense needs a reality check, period. Go ahead with your statement.
Oh, that's fair. I think that's a fair point.
I got to be on record because people like to think like I'm in one camp. In this Deshaun thing, it's either you with him or you're against him. I'm actually in the middle. I actually see both ways.
You're adding context to the situation. But even zooming out from this year, he's just been a guy.
I agree.
And that's when you fall into this window of mediocrity, right? When you're the Browns over the last 3 years because outside of Flacco coming in, your quarterback play just hasn't been good enough.
And I've said twice now, this will be the third time I said it, Deshaun Watson needs to really go and apologize. You remember the 4-12 season, J.J. Watt came up to him and said, I need to apologize to you because I wasted a year of your prime. We are that bad. We wasting a year of your prime. Fast forward to today, the same thing is going on now. Like look at Miles. Yeah. Like you're wasting, and he's out there 70%, still going as hard as he can. The man had like not last game, two games where he had 2 sacks. The guy's still going as hard as he possibly can, and this offense can't even put together 2 scoring drives. That's terrible.
The only reason this really started, the reason we made you work overtime today, is because you mentioned that you were so adamant about not helping Kansas City.
I'm not helping them.
Okay, then the other part, and before we cut you loose, if they took a player vote right now, where it would be anonymous, would it be overwhelming that they'd want to put Jameis in or stay with Deshaun? If every player got a vote, what's your feeling anonymously? What would happen?
That's a good question. Because the thing is, I know a lot of people rock with Deshaun. And, they've spoken so highly of him.
Yeah, and that's fair.
But you can't, as a player, you can't deny the fact that maybe you need to see something different. Like, because you don't know. Like, maybe Jameis could be better.
Would Jameis win the vote? Even if it's not a landslide. Would he win the vote inside the locker room?
I think at this point, you want to see something different from the offense. And if you just want to see something different, whether it's quarterback, whether it's play calling, whatever. You just want to see, as a defensive player, and they can't really say nothing either because they ain't been playing. They ain't been playing well either. But as a defensive player, looking over to the offense, it's like, dude, I want to see something change.
All right, get used to this. Next Wednesday, we'll do it again.
Must win for your Guardians today.
Eagles.
Ain't no must win.
It's a must win.
We're gonna win anyway.
It's a must win.
It's over with. 2 games. It's over with.
TP, we love you. Thanks for sticking around. All right, we'll get to it. We got Schefter, bottom of the hour. We'll get the real stuff from him. Speaking of quarterbacks, Will Howard, where's his confidence going against this Ducks defense? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at